At this point, I don't know who Father is, but if he's almighty and he's coming soon, I don't want to be in the crossfire of this. I'm scared, of God. So if this, I don't want to say that because I can see, I haven't seen Jesus, but I know that that's Christ, that's God.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm seeing Christ on Hong on Google and everything. I can say that this man, that's what throws me off. I can say this man. He was a man.
He was a man. He died.
He died.
He died. He was born to human parents.
He was never resurrected.
Never.
There was no resurrection for
Never.
him.
There's no accounts of miracles. There's no evidence. There's no evidential reason to believe that he is actually Christ. Jesus, when he was on earth, he was consistently saying, "Look at the things I'm doing. Look at the miracles." And sometimes he would go to the point of saying, "Don't ask for signs," but he would do that only after he had already given signs. And the reason he rebuked people for asking for signs is because they're asking for more signs when he had already given them enough signs. Favors. Right. And so I think what I'm saying is, like, Ong Sang Hong, he did nothing to make anybody in the outside world actually believe that there's reason to believe he's God. But Jesus was constantly healing people, bringing people back from the dead. He was making a clear display that he was God in human flesh walking on this earth, and he's doing things so that we can believe it.
And their rebuttal for that would be, well, Mother, they came to fulfill prophecy, not go above and beyond. They actually came to live as man.
Yeah,
that's what the rebuttal for that is. So they came to live as man. So why would they have to do this? Mother is almighty. Mother is all being. She doesn't need to conflict herself to look. This is where the side gets double standarded. That wasn't in the word.
That's okay. We'll just make up words in this video.
This is where things get double-sided.
Yep.
And they say Mother's almighty, Mother's all being. She doesn't need to conflict to human standards.
Okay.
Huh?
Yeah.
Mother's almighty. She can do whatever she wants. She does not need to subside to human standards.
Uh-huh.
So why is she here?
Yeah.
What does she need to sit here and if we, because this is where, like, the reasoning behind why they are like this is because they say, like, we murdered God, we tried to murder God initially in heaven, and that alone standpoint scared the crap out of me because it sounded correct. I mean, in a sense, if we were all cast out of heaven along with Satan, what Satan tried to do. So that was the I felt like the brainwash tactic that they had. It was like, you killed God, basically. Like, it's your fault.
So another guilt trip, sort of.
Yeah.
So
like, damn,
going back to kind of what you're saying about Mother, and so you're saying they use that kind of as an argument to explain away why there's no real miracles, there's no real evidence. It's kind of like, in my mind, I'm like, if Yahweh God is in the flesh in Korea right now, like, why is she not, like, clearing out hospitals? Why is she not, and further than that, here's something interesting. I don't know if you've heard this, but I've heard testimonies from the mouths of former members who talked about how they've gone to Korea, South Korea. I think in past videos I've said North Korea, which I'm correcting myself on. It's South Korea.
Yeah, it's okay.
But they've gone to South Korea and they've seen Mother. They've actually been able to meet her. They've, like, shook her hand, if that's even allowed. I don't know, but they've talked to her.
In the beginning, they make it sound like it is forbidden.
Forbidden.
Like,
okay.
They make it seem like it is strictly prohibited for anyone to see Mother. But then as soon as you're, like, into church, you're like, well, some people go and see Mother, like, from time to time, and then you realize, like, that's false. Like, there's a lot of people in Korea that see Mother on a daily basis.
And here's the interesting thing is members who have gone and they've seen her and talked to her, like, she this is one thing that came straight from the mouth of a former member. They said she asked them, "What's your name?" and, like, what do you do? And so why is that an issue? Well, here's two huge reasons why that's an issue. One, this is their mother. right? This is their mother who's saying, "What's your name? What do you do?" Like, I mean, I don't have to tell my mom what my name is or what I do for a job. Like, she's like, that's her greatest passion. Like, she can't get enough of, like, she knows what I'm doing. She's following it on Facebook, and she's like, if I share something, she's the first one to share and like and comment. And like, my mother knows exactly what I do. And like, so on the one hand, like, so your mother, and again, this is something I'm saying to members, like, you're following this woman in Korea, you're calling her your mother. There's evidence that shows you she doesn't even know your name. She's not even aware that you exist right now, and you're giving your life to her. Like, that's a problem. On the other hand, this woman is supposedly God, right? She's God in the flesh. Well, God should know everything. God knows everything. Jesus, when he was on earth, he knew, like he went to meet one of the disciples before he had ever met them, and it talks about how, I think it's maybe Philip or one of the disciples, but he goes to meet him and he says, before we met, basically, like, I saw you under the tree. And so Jesus was like even able to, he had a knowledge of people. He was able to know their names. When he met the woman at the well, he started describing, like, you've been with multiple husbands, and the man you're with now isn't your husband. So not only did he know all about his own disciples, he knew about people he had never met that weren't even following him. Yeah, but yet 100%. Mother, living in Korea, doesn't even know her own devoted followers' names. She has to ask, what do they do?
My initial reaction was to try to defend her. I was like, wait, well, in her defense, I was like, wait.
So I'd want to hear that. Like, I want to hear, I know I wouldn't even at this point call you a member, because I know you probably are getting to a point where you don't even want to. You're trying to get out.
I don't want to be there. It's an uncomfortable situation.
Yep.
The only reason why I'm staying at a neutral ground is because the simple fact that I work with these people.
Right. But let's just for the sake of this video, you are still currently technically a member. And so give me, after what I just said about that, I want you as a member to defend Mother.
Okay. There's a lot of things, like I'm gonna say it once again, there's a lot of things in the Bible that needs to be prophesied and testified through, the works of her. And one of those things being isn't that. What is the factors of whether knowing one person's name? Mm-hmm. She's like how they would say, she's almighty. The one thing that she doesn't really need to focus on is the fact that she knows your name. Okay.
So have you heard this argument before, or is this kind of more how you've processed it?
This is kind of more of how I processed it. It's not a straight fact, and honestly, actually, they literally, I feel like they set up these things because they actually have this thing called countermeasures. And like for people who want to rebuttal, we would have a rebuttal for them.
Okay.
And so it's like a war.
Okay.
It's like a war.
This is kind of their defensive strategy. So in essence, what you're saying is Mother is here on earth now because she's here for the purpose of fulfilling specific prophecies. Yes. And her knowing the names of every person isn't really related to fulfilling those prophecies, and so don't worry about it. Yeah. Okay. Well, can I tell you this? Can I just tell you this? That's a terrible argument. It's a terrible argument. I mean, it's horrible.
It's a terrible argument.
Okay, because I mean, for one thing, when Jesus was on this earth 2,000 years ago, he was here. One of the specific reasons he was here was to fulfill prophecy. He was here to fulfill many prophecies, and he did, like thousands, I think. And so Jesus was here, but yet he still knew people. He still had the ability by the Spirit to tap into the knowledge of God and to know things. He knew, again, Jesus knew the facts, the details about the woman at the well.